Well, it happened again. Once again, Tulane has a lead, 24 nothing lead, and just absolutely let it evaporate. Final score today: Tulane wins 27, loses 27-24 to Navy, so loses 27-24 to Navy on the last second field goal. So unfortunately, it was just an absolute. First half, I'm gonna be honest with you. First half, we was rolling, but once Navy got into the second half, they was absolutely just playing on all cylinders. So we was second half, we was absolutely trash in the second half. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It was a trashy performance in the second half. We got to be better than this, folks. We have to be better because if we cannot, we're going to play Southern Miss next week, and that is another game we're going to wind up losing if we don't get our heads out of our asses. So once again, your final score: Tulane loses 27-24 to Navy today in Yeoman Stadium. So we'll go over, we'll have the pregame show. Let's go ahead and play the pregame show, postgame show, excuse me, Tulane postgame show. I'm very, very upset right now. Get back to what we're doing. Tulane postgame show versus Navy. Let's go ahead and give you what's going on. Let's go to IMG's. No, wrong one. Wrong one. I don't know. I'm pushing the wrong buttons. I'm pushing the wrong button. I keep pushing the wrong button. I'm having a bad day. Back here.
Bringing spaces to life and a proud partner of Tulane's Green Wave.
Quick, what are the odds a baller in high school is drafted someday for the NFL? About 9 in 10,000. More importantly, what are the odds they'll need blood in their lifetime? Turns out nearly 3 out of 4 of us reaching the age of 72 will, and 97% will have a loved one or friend who needs blood. Make the right call and give blood today. Visit thebloodcenter.org to find a donation location or call 800-86-BLOOD to learn how your business, school, religious, or community organization can team up with the Blood Center to host the blood drive.
Welcome back inside Yeoman Stadium. Andrew Allegretti here in the booth with Steve Barrios. We're going to head down to the locker room and talk with head coach Coach Fritz. We'll start just big picture, Coach. Where do you begin after a game like this?
Oh, it's a tough one. I'm very disappointed. You know, it's kind of a tale of two halves. Played well in the first half, you know, and then we just really fell apart in the second half. And, you know, really in all three phases. You know, and offensively, we didn't do anything in the second half. Defensively, we gave up 27 points and, you know, had some miscues in the kicking game. And, you know, we had all the great field position we had in the first half we didn't have in the second half. So, really, really disappointing loss.
For you guys, we kind of talked about during the broadcast, the offensive line, defensive line. That was the thing that really switched in the second half. Navy was establishing much more presence and control on the line of scrimmage. Did you notice anything in particular during the second half that Navy was able to make an adjustment and start to win some of those battles?
Yeah, they put their other quarterback in, and they did a nice job of changing up, going out of the gun, and then also going under center and going back and forth, and they did a good job of play action. We lost our receivers quite a few times. They hit us on some deep balls, and you know, so they did a really nice job of keeping us off balance defensively in the second half.
Keon Howard had a difficult afternoon here today, missed some open throws. How do you start to break down the performance for Keon? Again, he made some good throws, made some good decisions, but at times missed some open receivers as well.
Yeah, he did. You know, it's a tough game for him. He, you know, the thing we just got to get him to realize is, you know, he doesn't have to win the game for us. Just make the play that's there. And you know, there's a big one there right before halftime. So, you get all the bullets flying out there, and sometimes it makes it tough to see what you should be doing.
Coach, you mentioned about the change at quarterback. Did y'all expect Xavier to play as much as he did, and then coming in with Morris?
We heard that there was a little quarterback controversy, and we thought either 7 or 8 would play. They started with 7. He had a tough time early in the ball game. They went with number 8, and I thought that kid did an excellent job running the offense, and they just did a really, really good job of keeping us off balance big time.
Coach, we're able to hear the locker room before you're able to jump on a headset. And I think I heard a very passionate, I think it was DeAndre Williams, without sharing, obviously, everything he was saying. I guess just can you give us a sense of kind of the mood of the upperclassmen in that locker room and the message that they're trying to convey to the entire squad?
Oh, they're just very disappointed. It's got to be able to finish games. We finished last week, and we were the exact opposite this week.
Walk us through the final. It's 24-24. You guys are able to kind of get the ball moving a little bit down the field, 24 apiece. How did you try to size up as a coaching staff what you wanted to execute in the final 5 minutes of this ball game when it's tied up at 24 and you guys get the football?
Well, we did a good job of driving the ball down the field, and it was a go, with our analytics there at the end. And, unfortunately, we threw it deep and just was a little bit far, over his fingertips, but, just didn't continue to keep making the plays that we needed to make. And, that's a tough one to try to convert on a 4th and 4.
How much more physical did you find Navy to be in the second half of this ball game?
Oh, I don't think there was that much more. I just think we breathed life into them, and they started we were hanging on to hold on to win and not make mistakes rather than getting after it and continue to keep going. And that's where the disappointment hangs in. We just played really poorly in the second half, and basically playing not to lose instead of playing to win.
Coach, I'll leave you on this one. Obviously, ever the guy that's trying to turn the page and be positive for the next week. What message, what sort of thoughts do you think you'll bring your team as you prep for Southern Miss next Saturday?
Well, we got to turn the page. That's what we got to do for sure. We got to get some guys healthy. We got to get guys back out here and able to play, and we got to get everybody to bounce back. This is a tough one. This is a tough pill to swallow, though.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, final score 27-24. We'll step aside in just a second, but Steve, just some immediate thoughts on what Coach had to say as you think about this game at this point.
Well, as he said, it's a very tough pill to swallow, and he really said it best when he said it was just an exact reversal of what happened last week. Down 24-6 halfway through the third quarter, coming back to win that game, scoring 21 unanswered, but allowing Navy to score 27 unanswered and not being able to put any points on the board themselves. It's going to take a little while to get over this one, Andrew. It really is.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We sort of felt that way a season ago with the Navy game, didn't we? We felt like it was going to take a little time to get over the Navy game, and the task for the coaching staff is to not let one game become 2 or 3 games for this Tulane team. You've got a beatable opponent up the road in Hattiesburg next week. Got to focus on that one. We'll step aside, come back, continue our coverage of the Capital One post-game show in just a moment after this on the Tulane Sports Network from Learfield, IMG College.
When it comes to the flu, prevention is the best medicine. That's why it's so important to get a flu
and
shot.
Once again,
the CDC recommends that people from 6 months old and above get the vaccine to stay healthy. Most health plans and Medicare cover the flu vaccine at $0 or at a low cost. So take your best shot against the flu. Call your provider and get your vaccine today. Brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana.
You gotta take your best shot. First half, like I said, he was rolling.
If you're looking to make an impact, there's no better place to do that than the U.S. Army. Whether your goal is to fight and cure deadly diseases, develop technologies.
The football over people's heads. He's going to have to learn to throw that ball maybe 10, 15, 20 yard patterns and stuff like that. Get those. And the wide receivers were not catching the ball. They were just going over their heads. And some of them were dropping the football. That is something we cannot do. We cannot allow to happen and continue to allowed to happen, because that's something that's going to have to stop. Because look, we're going to be going into conference play once this Southern Miss game concludes next Saturday at 1:30. We're going to see if we can bounce back in that game. Because last year we won that game 30-13, but this is going to be an entirely different year. We're playing them in the regular season. So, what's your thoughts of today's game? You can post your comments via YouTube, Facebook, and also Sportscaster. We are live here. We'll get back to the pregame, postgame show coverage via IMG Sports Network from Tulane. So, once again, final score, Tulane loses 27-24. We'll go over the scoring plays that happened in this game. We'll give you the stats once the post-game interviews are over. So once again, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you coming in for the Tulane post-game show. We will have this every time on StreamYard. So StreamYard, we will be on StreamYard for the foreseeable future. We cannot get any feeds from OBS, so we have to use StreamYard. So once again, let's get back to the Tulane post-game coverage from IMG College, IMG Network. They will, let's go ahead and do that.
DeAndre, if you can hear me at any point here, just let me know, and we'll bring you into the conversation here. Steve, some of the key moments in this ball game that kind of jump out to you, I think one we talked about on this broadcast was just the fact that Tulane had the opportunity at the end of the first half. It was driving, not saying Tulane needs to score a touchdown or by any means that moment decided the ball game, but if Tulane doesn't throw the interception, maybe gets a field goal or a touchdown, the Navy mood in the locker room could have been wildly different.
No doubt. I think that would have been kind of like the, just the break their back. If we go in, we score there and we go up, by 4 touchdowns, it's going to, and then plus we get the ball to start the second half. But that was a big switch. And then, of course, Morris, he comes in and, he does a great job. He's 6 of 11 for 139 yards and a touchdown throwing the football. And that is just not really Navy's cup of tea, but they just pulled that up and he responded tremendously. And I think their passing game just totally upset us.
DeAndre Williams, can you hear us down there in the locker room?
Yes, sir.
All right, DeAndre, I appreciate you talking with us after what is a very difficult loss for you guys. Let's just begin there. I think we heard you on the headset talking to the team again, not to say specifically what you told the team, but the message that you're attempting to convey to everyone, the underclassmen, about what you believe Tulane football can be and why this didn't meet the standard.
It's just that we had a real upsetting loss today. We work real hard, especially everybody in this program work extremely hard for these opportunities, and we can't let them slip away like that. A lot of people didn't even know we were going to have a season, and we're blessed to have one, and we cannot let those opportunities slip away from us like it did today. And that's just what I'm trying to let everybody know, that it was a team loss. We got to do better as a unit and closing out the games. It's just a tough one right now, guys.
I apologize for the simplistic question, but what was so different for you guys in the second half, and I guess specifically from the defensive standpoint as you adjusted to the changes that Navy was making offensively?
Well, they came out with another quarterback, and they did some things that made us adjust to him, and we just wasn't in the right position, I'm guessing. I know up front. And on the back end, we got to make sure that we're on the same page at all times to make sure that big plays don't happen. We eliminate big plays from happening, we'll be able to hold those guys, no doubt.
What's the difference stylistically between Morris was the guy that came in, that's quarterback number 8, and Arline was the guy that started the ball game? Why were they different? How were they different for you as a defensive lineman?
Not really much difference for us. I think it was just how Navy felt about those two quarterbacks. I guess they felt Morris, the second quarterback that came in, I guess they felt he was a better passer, maybe. I'm not sure. But that's what they came out doing more to us in the second half.
They seem to go to the fullback dive a lot more in that second half as well. Is that accurate? Because Carruthers, who we know from a season ago, was much more active in this ball game.
Yeah, they hit us on a few of those things and got some first downs. And I think they scored on one of them. It's just, like I said, we got to make sure that we're in position at all times. You know, we can stuff them, and then bam, one person gets out of position for a split second, and then it's a touchdown. But those are the things we make sure we have to eliminate in these type of ball games.
And I'm just saying this for the sake of for clarity, because it is truly a team defensive effort. Because if any one person isn't where they need to be, it can be a big play for them, especially when they're able to hit on, some 15, 20-yard passes. It truly takes 11 guys against the Navy at all times for 60 minutes, correct, to be in pinpoint spots where they need to be.
Yes, sir. We got to make sure that we on point on every snap against those guys, because one bust, one mistake, one person out of place. It's a team thing. It's 11 people on the field. We got to make sure that we all in position to make plays and doing our job.
As a leader for this crew, what message do you think you're going to take to your guys as you look forward to Southern Miss throughout the course of this week?
It's just a 24-hour rule, man. We can't really dwell on this loss. It was tough, but we know what we have to do. We got to get back, and we got to work and grind like we've been doing. It's just a tough loss.
DeAndre, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right, so Andrew Allegretta here in the booth with Steve Barrios as we wrap up a 27-24 victory for the Navy midshipmen as the Mid go to 1-1 on the season. Tulane still 1-1 on the season. We'll wrap things up here from site, and then we'll let Victoria Conway take it the rest of the way. Keep in mind that we will record a post-game analysis podcast that you can take a look and listen for on The Current. It's called The Current. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We'll have that up for you over the course of the next day or so. It's not going to be a fun one to record here, Steve, but just some of the thoughts as you walk away from this game for the Green Wave. There's so much to absorb in this ball game. What are the first couple of things that come to your mind?
Well, the first couple of things, I guess, number one would be the way that Navy was able to dominate the line of scrimmage in the second half, the way Tulane dominated the line of scrimmage in the first half. And then Navy hit their passing game. I think that's what really took us out of the football game. Their quarterback Morris comes in the second half, goes 6 for 11 for 139 yards and a touchdown, and that is something that no one saw coming against this Navy team.
Yeah, not in the slightest. And look, the next point that I'm going to bring up, by no means do I think that this was the reason that Tulane lost the football game. It's just there's a level of irony to the way that the last 5 minutes played out here today as it played out a year ago. Because I remember specifically a year ago Tulane marching down the field consistently and looking like it was going to overtake Navy. And Navy needed something to slow down the offense. And a year ago, again, in isolation, when any one player goes down, you don't want to raise a red flag of something nefarious because that singular player certainly could be injured. It was the repetition of that particular act that caused a level of frustration. And then you tack that on to the final 5 minutes of this game when we see Cam Carroll rip off a run, rip off a run, rip off a run. And then all of a sudden, Marshall, their striker, is on the turf. He's also back into the ball game at his next available play. Okay, not the reason Tulane struggles, not the reason Tulane loses this ball game, but it's one of those things that you go, it's just a frustration point. I don't know what to do about it, but to see the game end almost identically from one season to the next, in parts, just throwing it in there, not the reason, but in parts because of something that makes you go, there's a frustration there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I just said, off air that it's just, how ironic is it that Tulane loses to Navy the exact same way 2 years in a row. It's just uncanny, but pretty much that's exactly what happened today.
Now, a season ago, 48 yards from Nichols, who was then a freshman, now a sophomore today, 33 yards into the wind, into the rain. and he knocked through a pair of field goals to beat the Wave back-to-back seasons. Once again, our final score from Uptown New Orleans, 27-24. Tulane goes to 1-1 on the season. Don't forget, next week it's Tulane versus Southern Miss. That is now a 12:30 start time for our broadcast. Kickoff at 1:30. They moved that game up from, I think, 6 o'clock to 1:30 is the kickoff. So pay attention to that. Our Tulane Sports Network broadcast will be on the air starting at 12:30. For Jimmy Ortno, Steve Barrios, Jason Trosclair, Alden Hagedorn, my name is Andrew Alarcona. Thanks so much for listening, but don't go anywhere. The Capital One postgame show continues in just a moment. Back inside the Capital One studios with Victoria Conway after this.
Okay, once again,
fall for a new look. Now at My Eye Doctor. It's the perfect time to change up your style and enjoy big savings on designer glasses. Like $145 for a complete pair of Calvin Kleins, Valentinos, and more.
I'm going to go through that right now. So let's switch over my share screens and we'll go through the scoring plays of Tulane. I'm going to go back to the screen. I'm going to have it up on my screen. Give me 1 second to get it up. We'll have it up on the screen for you. So I'm going to go through the scoring plays here. Once again, let's go through the scoring drives in the game. Let's begin with the scoring plays. I'm going to be pulling up the scoring drives. Okay, the first score, Tulane had a 5-play, 66-yard drive. K.N. Carroll from 3 yards out made it 7-0. Merrick Glover kicked a 22-yard field goal. That was on 14 plays, 54 yards, 5 minutes and 55 seconds off the time of possession. Your score was 10-0. Also, Watts had a 3-yard run for a touchdown. That was on 11 plays, 63 yards, made it 17-0. So we was up 17-0. And then Cam Carroll had a 7-play, 93-yard drive, 24-yard touchdown. 301 on the time of possession, so it was 24-0. And Navy scored in the game. They scored. Navy had a touchdown. Nelson Smith, the young man, had 2 scores. He had a 1-yard touchdown, made it 24-7. So Nelson Smith scored on that one. And then Nelson Smith again from 1 yard out. That was on 6 plays, 61 yards. 2 minutes and 23 seconds, made it 24-14. Then Navy got a safety. That was an uncalled for run by Carroll getting buried in the end zone. So I'll be honest with you, that was just absolutely trash when you look at it. Once again, it was 24-16. And then Tulane Navy kicked the field goal. It was a 24-yard, 32-yard attempt. It was on 6 plays, 57 yards, 2 minutes and 1 second, tied up at 24. And then once again, Davis kicked a 33-yard field goal for the game winner. So once again, your final score, 27-24 is your final score. 4:41 was the time. So they did outscore Tulane 11-0. In the fourth quarter, 16-0 in the third quarter. So they did score points in the third and fourth quarter for that game. So let's go over to the stats. We'll give you the stat numbers. I'm going to give you some stat numbers. I'll pull it up on the screen, give you a stat number breakdown. Let's give you some comparison numbers. I'm going to give you the third quarter stats. Okay, let's give you those third quarter numbers. We'll get those third quarter numbers up on my screen. And we'll switch them over. Okay, let's give you those third quarter stats. They're right down at the bottom of your screen. We'll give you those numbers. Tulane, they had 191 yards total in the third quarter. They had 18 runs for 106 yards for Navy. Tulane had 7 carries for 10 yards, so it wasn't good. Passing, Navy had 85 yards passing, 4 of 6. They had 1 penalty in that third quarter. Also, first down, they had 8 to nothing. So Tulane did not convert on third downs. They went 0 for 4 in the third quarter. Also, let's see, total plays. Tulane had 13 total plays. Navy had 24 in the third quarter. Also, time of possession, 10:09 for Navy, so they had the ball more times than that. Fourth quarter stats, we'll go through the fourth quarter stats. 11-0 was the through three quarters, they had 307 yards. Navy had 250, so they went up. They had 250 in total. They ran the ball 40 times. Absolutely, we're just getting abominated by that run plays by Navy. They ran it 40 times. They ran the fullback dive, and that's they're known for that. Also, they passed for 99 yards. Tulane 108. 3 penalties in that third quarter was absolutely unacceptable. We cannot have that against Southern Miss next week. Tulane had 15 first downs, 10 on runs, 4 on passes. Navy had mostly their first downs on runs. There was 4 passes and 7 runs. Total plays, 57 for Tulane, 49 for Navy. Time of possession, 23 minutes and 23 seconds for Navy, and 21:37 for Tulane in the game. So that was fourth quarter stats, 11-0. They outscored them in that quarter. 100 yards total in the game versus the Green Wave 66. Run plays, Tulane had 10 run plays for 66 yards. Navy had 16 run plays for 53. They passed for 47. Let's see, the first downs, Tulane had 3. They only had 3 on runs. Navy had 4 first downs and 6 total first downs in the game. The time of possession, 9-12 for Navy and 5:48 for the Tulane Green Wave. So that is in the game. So the total yards they finished in the game, 350 for Navy, 373 for Tulane. Tulane ran the ball 4 times, 265 yards. Navy 256 times, 204 for Navy, 265 for Tulane. Passing 108 yards, 10 of 25 for Tulane, 1 interception, 1 touchdown for Navy, 7 of 12. They passed for 146 yards to 108. 5 penalties for 50 yards. We have to clean that up in the next game when it comes down to that. Also, first downs, Tulane had 18 first downs, 13 on runs, 4 on pass. Navy has 17 first downs, 11 pass, 11 runs, 6 pass. You're not going to get anywhere if you convert only 2 of 12. You cannot. You got to convert on third down. You have to convert. That's just my opinion on it. We're absolutely was not good in that third down conversions today. We have to get better on that. That is something we're going to have to clean up this week versus Southern Miss once the game begins next week. Fourth downs, Tulane went 2 for 4. Navy went 1 for 2. Time of possession, Navy had the ball 32 minutes. Tulane had the ball for only 27 minutes. That's just what happened in this game today. So once again, final score, Navy wins 27-24. Let's give you the player stats. I'm going to give you Tulane player stats. I'm going to go ahead and give you those player stats right now. Player stats, I'll switch it over right here. Okay, Keon Howard, 10 of 25, 108 yards. His rating was 68.3. The biggest runners today in this game was Tajay Spears. He had 18 carries for about 119 yards. Cam Carroll, 11 carries, 62 yards. Amari Jones, 6 carries, 41. Keon Howard, 5 carries for 26. Stephon Hudson. I want to see more out of Stephon Hudson. Stephon Hudson, he could be a big bruising back, just like Cam Cowell. So he had only 3 carries for 14 yards. 44 carries for 265. We had 265 yards, and we should have won this game. We should have won this football game. Now, the wide receiver core. Let's go through the wide receiver core. James had 2 catches. He was targeted 3. Watts, 4. He was targeted 4. Excuse me. I'm getting ahead of myself. So he was targeted 4 times. Watts was targeted 3 times. Brown was targeted once. Jones was targeted 3 times. Robinson, he had some only 1 catch. He should have caught more balls, but he just dropped a few balls today. That was just an unfortunate situation. 8 receivers caught the ball today for 108 yards on 10 catches, 10.8 yards per catch. So excellent performance in the first half, but the unfortunate facts is just clear that this team gives up leads. They absolutely give up leads. I hate to say it. We're going back to the same situations over and over and over and over again. We have to continue not to do these things, because if we continue to do these things, guess what? It's going to be detrimental to this team, and it's going to burn us in the long run. So my take is this. This was a very sloppy performance in the second half, but we have to get better. We have to get better. We have to get off the field on third down. That's important, because the more you delay in getting off the field, guess what? They're going to continue those drives, and we don't want that. So, unfortunate fact, today, Tulane loses 27-24. We will be back later. Once again, thanks for joining us. We'll be back later with in-game sports coverage. We'll have in-game updates. We'll use the cameras. We'll do that. We'll have the games. We'll have the coverage. We'll have college football coverage. We'll also have NBA coverage here on the in-game sports reports. We'll have that tonight. That will be later on this evening. So once again, final score: Tulane loses 27-24. They will go to Southern Miss next Saturday, 1:30. We'll have the game here for you on Sportscaster. We will also have the LSU and Mississippi State game as they begin their game 1 of their season. So once again, thanks for joining us for this edition of the Tulane Postgame Show here on StreamYard. Once again, final score 27-24. Navy wins over Tulane. Once again, we'll be back later for endgame sports reports. So we will be here doing that. We'll go around the college football and also NBA basketball. So we will be doing that for you tonight. So once again, everybody have a good rest of your afternoon. Please stay safe out there. It's still raining out there. Please don't drive in those neighborhoods when they flood it. So once again, everybody have a good rest of your afternoon. We'll see y'all later.